What is up, guys? Welcome back finally to the DaSamNudge Tower series here on my Minecraft server. Before we get started with this video, I want to mention a couple of changes that we've made. First off, I bought a new microphone. This is a Shure SM7B. If you want to find out more about it, go check out the video that I released on Monday. Basically, what that means is my audio during these videos is going to sound a lot cleaner, a lot crisper, and just a lot more realistic. The second thing we have to talk about is Minecraft 1.18. We tried doing 1.18 for this video. However, it caused some major issues with latency and other sorts of lag on the Dell Vostro, the machine that hosts the server, and also the same machine that we screen record these videos on. So we rolled back to Minecraft 1.17 and it's working just fine. So anyway, guys, with that issue out of the way, it's finally time to take a look at my absolute favorite part of this Minecraft server.
Hi, hello, and welcome guys to yet another DSN Tower video. I'm glad you guys have joined us once again. Today, like Sam just said, we are going to be exploring probably the coolest part of this tower, and I'm very excited. I've been excited from the start of showing you how this BossClub thing actually looks and works and everything. I mean, it's awesome. It's one of the first things that we worked on, and let's go ahead and get right to it. I'm in the parking garage right now, and we can take the stairs to go down there. But let's just go ahead and take the elevator just because we can. I believe it's already been called up here. And there we go. And we're going to go pick our floor. There we go. So now we are in the elevator. Heading down to BossClub. And door opens that way actually, which is pretty sweet. So here we are. And right now it just looks like a hallway, because that's all this part is, but that's not the most exciting part. The most exciting part is going to be if we walk over here, the nice BossClub. I guess you could call it kind of like a stage and a dance floor and whatnot, which is really freaking cool. Let's just go ahead and walk over here to the stage itself and take a nice clear look of the disco lights that are going on in the floor there. And you got the nice BossClub logo and ceiling and whatnot, cameras everywhere. It's pretty nice. It's pretty cool. When I designed it at first, you may notice that the ceiling is actually kind of on the low side, and that's actually semi on purpose and semi isn't. But what we plan on doing with the future is we're going to have a lot of like different like BossClub versions. That'll be kind of like a standalone building. And it'll also be used in a future project that we're working on as well, and it'll actually have a nice high ceiling. But you know, when we first were trying to build this thing, we first started with the parking garage, and then we're like, hey, you know, let's go have like a really cool like club in the lowest level. And it was actually a lot smaller at first. But as time went on, we kind of made a small addition here and a small addition there and another small addition. So this is actually like the biggest area, horizontally speaking, of the entire tower in and of itself. It actually exceeds the boundaries of the tower's floor plan. I believe the first thing that we initially started working on was that hallway there, and I think it was actually around here. And we kind of went with a more open sort of space and an open floor plan. I had more walls planned out originally, but it just got more cluttered and it looked kind of boring and whatnot. And again, it's a club. You're expecting a lot of people to be there, so you kind of want to have a floor plan that's nice, wide and open, that anyone can kind of, you know, hang out, have a nice little vibe there. And, you know, it's not just a club area either. It's also a... there's a swimming pool I'm going to show you right over here. There is like a security center. There's another stage. It's got a little bit of everything. It's got a little restaurant as well. Here is the nice pool. Now, how many clubs have you seen that have a swimming pool around it? And I'm assuming probably not very many. But this one's got it because, hey, you know, exercise is great. We want everyone to be physically fit, and swimming is like the coolest thing ever. So there's a swimming pool, and it's also got some really cool lights here that I'll have Sam here explain in just a second once I get back to it. And we also have a nice nature-like aquarium. If you really like tropical fish and whatnot, you can go over here and look at all the beautiful fish just swimming around there, having a lot of fun, having a good time at this club. They think it's a great place to be at as well. So yes, we have an aquarium, and we also have a locker room area here, you know, because you kind of need that whenever you have a swimming pool here. And it's kind of a smaller area, and these are made out of just dispensers and whatnot. You could put your clothes or your random stuff, like how we just put some glass there. Someone's gonna have a nice little surprise. There's like a little shower, you know. Take a shower, get clean. Don't go in swimming when you're all dirty. We'll go ahead and, you know, take a nice little swim here and just marvel at the nice lights here. I'll go ahead and have Sam take over for a moment here and see if he can explain how this works, because it's pretty freaking cool.
All right, guys, so it's time to take a look at the lighting in this pool. If you look at it from the top, it actually looks pretty sweet. I don't exactly remember why I came up with the idea to do it like this, but regardless, I think it looks awesome with it kind of going in a little spiral there. So I'm going to go ahead and put myself into spectator mode, and we'll take a look under here and see how it all works. Coming over here, you can see there is a very slow redstone repeater going right here, and when that touches the stone block right here, it starts a chain reaction with all of these redstone repeaters that then powers the redstone lamps that are right above these stone blocks. And that's pretty much it. That's all there is to it. It's not super complicated. However, there is one other thing that I do need to go over with this. So you're looking at the pool right here. If we come over to the left of the pool, depending on how you're looking at it, of course, but going right here, we have the mechanical room. As you can see, there's a fire alarm control panel in here as well. So you get a little preview of that before we do the official video. There's the fire alarm panel right there. That's all you get to see until it's time to do the video. On this wall where Brandon's standing, we have the lighting zones for this entire tower. The BossClub one turns off all of the lights in BossClub with the exception of this mechanical room and a couple of others. But as you can see, the lights out here are now off, which is what caused that lag spike, in case you're wondering. But there you go, the lights in the bottom of the pool are now off. So Brandon, if you want to go ahead and turn those back on. And there they are. So that's it, guys. That's the pool lighting. I think it adds a nice touch with a little bit of animation here. Not really too sure why the server's running a little bit slow, but you can still see the effect. I think it looks quite nice. It's definitely makes it a little bit cooler than just having, you know, a standard pool with nothing cool happening in it.
I'm gonna go ahead and show you this real big room that's right over here. This is kind of like stage 2. So the disco room over there with a nice floor, that's like the main stage right there where the main stuff is going on. Whereas this one's kind of like a backup one. Maybe you'll have like maybe a little bit of a smaller musical festival or something, or maybe someone's giving out like a speech, or maybe they want to have a nice dinner. This is kind of what this stage is for the most part, and it's on the corner way over there. You got a lot of tables, you got a nice stage right there, you got speakers kind of elevated over there, and a security camera to top it off. The lighting's a little bit different. It's got like a diagonal kind of light thing going on there, which is mostly just copy and paste, although it was still a lot of work, I think, wiring all that up. So, you know, my hat's to Sam for figuring all that stuff out, because that's a lot of monotonous work there. But yeah, that lighting still kind of continues over here as well. And then of course, it's because Minecraft and diagonals aren't exactly the best things in the world, I had to have little, you know, 2 lecterns here to kind of balance things a little bit better. But I think it ended up looking pretty good for the most part. I will show you the restrooms, because, you know, restrooms are like the most important part of any building, you know. We'll start in the men's restroom here. And, you know, it's a restroom. It's got a urinal. It's got a nice little, you know, place you could go poop in. And, you know, sink to wash your hands, because you got to be sanitary in these days, guys. You got to wash your hands after you use the restroom. I can't emphasize that enough. That's the men's restroom, women's restroom, same thing, but no urinal. What we have just walked into is the security office for the entire DSN tower. This is where there's all the cameras would feed to. This is kind of where the security officers would be. Maybe there's a police officer that's badged in here as well, you know, just hanging out. There's also some jail cells that I'll show you in just a moment. But we'll start with the actual office side of things itself. So, you know, you have your reception area. It's got little computers and whatnot, you know, to take phone calls. Right behind the reception area, we got an office here. I guess this would be where the I don't know, the big boss would be at. As you may have noticed, there's a bunch of cameras here. We even have like an old school camera there because, you know, I guess the security office, they got new cameras and they didn't want to replace their old one because it was still usable. All right, so we'll go into here. We have the surveillance room, another little office, another office. Oh, we have a little interrogation room. I forgot about that. So, you know, there's some tinted glass right here. And this is where, you know, you interrogate people, I guess, and whatnot. It's kind of dark in here, too. I kind of like that vibe that's going on. I don't know if that's from a lighting glitch or what's causing that. It's probably a glitch. Yeah, it's a glitch. But I like that. That was kind of cool. And then right here is the weaponry. Now, you might see all these item frames that are empty, and that's because of, again, the image map plugin not working, and it probably won't be working for a while because of the update that just come out. So, unfortunately, these are going to be blank. Just use your imagination. I'll show you the surveillance room. And again, you will also have to use your imagination because of image map not working. But this is kind of where, you know, the cameras would feed into, and there might be a few operators who are just, you know, constantly keeping an eyeful watch on people. You know, just big brother. Yeah, these would have all the camera feeds and whatnot. There's a fire alarm here. There's another camera watching the camera surveillance people. Two cameras actually. This would be kind of like a little server where all the feeds, you know, go into, and that way there's a record of whatnot of that's going on in the tower. And I purposely kept it very dark because I don't know, it just kind of has that nice vibe, and I like that in a surveillance security kind of room because that's usually what they, at least in movies, that's what they like to show, it being very dark. Go ahead and leave the main office floor area of the security area, and we'll go to the holding cells, which is actually really friggin' cool. So we'll go here. We got another camera, you know, keeping a, you know, a watchful eye on possible prisoners or whatnot. And here you go. You got some holding cells. You know, we kind of have probably a bit more than a building like this needs, but you never know. It's you got to be safe and secure. And we have another row of holding cells there, and they're bunk beds for the most part. I think there were villagers here too at some point. Oh yeah, there they are. This is kind of what the holding cells look like once you're inside of them. You have a little stair here. What the stair is, just pretend it's like one of those little toilet things. And if you ever look at a jail cell, it's like a toilet and sometimes like it's a fountain as well, or a little sink. And it's all like combined into one. It's like made out of stainless steel. They look absolutely awful, but that's what they kind of have. And because everything's in such a small space, that's usually what they do. But in Minecraft, I really don't have many blocks to kind of represent that, so I just use the stairs because it looks kind of like a toilet / sink thing. I don't know. Just use your imagination. It's Minecraft. We also have like a bunk bed kind of thing set up here. You got two villagers here, and the top one looks like it's Samuel Nudge. I don't know who that is, but somehow he did something dumb and got himself into here. And it looks like I did something dumb too, and now I'm stuck in here. So I'm going to have to break this iron door here and stick that there. And it looks, look at that, good as new. It's perfect. But yeah, this is one hallway here. I don't think there's any other villagers here. I don't really. Oh, there's another villager there. I don't know if he has got a name in there or not. I'll go double check. Nah, he's not named. More cells and cells. And let me check this villager right here, see if he's got a name. And he does not. And then we have like a solitary confinement maybe room. I guess it's like a little transition area, and I guess we'd stick our solitary, our baddies into here, because it looks like I tracked myself again, so I guess that's what that was for. So yeah, this is the solitary confinement room. I'll have Sam take over here in just a moment, then he'll kind of explain all of this stuff, and something that's actually really cool of how the lockdown system kind of works, the cell release. It's really awesome here. So Sam, I'll go ahead and have you take it away for me.
All right, guys, so we're here in the holding cell at BossClub, right where Brandon left off, and I am all messed up on the keyboard. All right, there we go. So over here we have a annunciator for the fire alarm system. This is actually a new model that I had to come up with for the penthouse. As you probably saw in the last episode of the series, I had to make a smaller one because of the space constraints we had in the penthouse, and it actually ended up looking nicer than the old one did, so I put one down here too. And as you can see, it actually fit perfectly with the ceiling height in here. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and start off with the lighting that we have in here. So this is another area that's not affected by the universal control, I guess you'd call it, up in the mechanical room. So you go ahead and turn the hallway lights off. As you see there, hallway lights are off, but the cell lights are still on. And if we turn off the cell lights, it gets nice and dark in here. The only light is coming from the torch in my hand, so we'll get rid of that for now. And of course, the system normal light on the fire alarm annunciator. Other than that, though, it is pretty much pitch black in here. So we're going to go ahead and turn on just the hallway lights so you can see that. Bright hallway with the dark cells. And we'll go ahead and turn the cells back on too. So if you've ever watched like prison shows or something along those lines, I don't really know how to describe it. When they release the cells, a buzzer goes off. So when you release the cells here, now, as I said, the server is running slow for some reason. Usually it sounds like a vibrating bell before the doors open. But yeah, that's pretty cool right there. Hit the bottom button, close them back up. We'll do that one more time for you guys. And there you go. It's unfortunate that I can't really show you the full effect of the fast pulsing note blocks, but regardless, that's how it works. You'll notice these doors right here. We've got a set of doors right here with no button, along with on the other side here, down this other row, there's another exit. And as you can see, the sign that was not ever removed says emergency exit type deal. The concept is that does not open unless there's an emergency, because inmates, I guess you'd call them, should not be allowed to escape or able to escape unless there's an emergency. And workers just go in through the main entrance right here, through this little ramp that comes down from the BossClub security office. So, in the event that there is a fire, this is what would happen. We're going to go ahead and silence that because, again, the server is running not so great. While the fire alarm is sounding, the cell doors and the emergency exit doors are open, and I'll show you where the emergency exit leads to. So if you go over here, you just end up at the other emergency exit, but if you actually go the exit route here, all the way over here, these doors are also not open unless there is an actual emergency happening, and you end up right here on the smaller stage in BossClub with the tables and stuff like that. And as you can see, the fire alarms are going. We have the torch design, but I'm not going to get much into that for this video. We will be doing a full video on the fire alarm system for this place. Hopefully by then, the lag issue will be fixed. So let's go in here and reset from the annunciator. And there's our very slow, laggy success tone. But there you go, guys. That's how the emergency exit doors and the cell doors work in the BossClub holding cell room.
So yeah, guys, that is the holding cell area. And yes, that was like one of the coolest things I've ever seen. The whole security office thing was really kind of a last minute thing that we kind of decided to do because we had like some office space here and we thought about just putting like normal offices with like cubicles. Then one of us just came up with the idea, hey, let's just like add a security office. And I think we were going to put it into one of the floors in the tower. And then I think Sam decided, we'll just put it down here. And I'm kind of glad we did because there's a whole lot more room. We could do pretty awesome things like that here. And yeah, I mean, it's just a really nice area. And I'm actually building a sort of jail area right now in my other world that I'm working on. And this actually looks better, which I'm kind of jealous. I mean, I did the design and everything, but this came out a lot better than what I came up with in my other world here. So yeah, very impressive thing, and one of my favorite parts of the tower for sure. With that being said, let's go ahead and cheat a little bit. We're gonna break that door there and go all the way to stage 2. It's an emergency exit thing, and there we go. And oh, look at that, we were just there just a second ago. Let's go ahead and go to the restaurant area by going through the kitchen first real quick. We're gonna do sort of like a backdoor kind of thing, and there's actually 2 ways to get into the kitchen if I remember correctly. There's this way right here, and I think there's another one kind of hiding behind the restroom area right over here. A nice little hallway here. I guess it's kind of, you know, could be a little bit quicker for the waitresses or whomever, waiters, and they can kind of just access it this way. That's probably a little bit better than that one single door that's over there. But anyway, here is the kitchen area. You have some nice little cooking stations here, kind of like what we've seen upstairs in the other floors in the tower. You have a random barrel, because we like random barrels right there. And you know, it's kind of your typical kitchen that we've built. We use the polished granite floor because it kind of resembles some of the floor that you see in a lot of kitchens. Just some shelves with random stuff. I think there's a freezer here, and I think this is it. Yep, that's the freezer. And you have to bear with me for a moment because, like I said, it's kind of late and I'm semi-tired, and it's actually been a while since I built some of this stuff. Like I said, it's one of the first things that we worked on, and I'm kind of like, things are just popping back into my memory. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember building that, and I remember that. I think this is a restroom, but I really don't remember. It is a restroom. It's got both a urinal and a toilet. Almost forgot. See, just to show you how tired I am, I almost forgot that that's called a toilet. But anyway, you got a little sink right there. You can wash your hands because you definitely want to be sanitary when you're working with food. So I kind of included this in here because I don't think a worker would like to just, you know, go outside and wash their hands in the public restroom there. So yeah, there's also 2 entrances to the BossPub area. So right over there was stage 2. And this right here is BossPub. This entrance will take you to the bar if you're an employee. So there's the bar right here, you know, serve drinks, typical bar sort of thing. There's a little storage area with nothing in it. And yep, and we'll go ahead and go it out here. And this would be another sort of kitchen entrance right here. And yes, this is the BossPub. I've used anvils for the bar stools there. It's like a, you know, 21 over sort of thing. Before Sam turned 21, I actually put like barriers here just to kind of troll him a little bit. It's like, oh, what can I get in here? Well, man, you're not 21 yet. So, but now he is, so he can legally allowed to be here and, you know, grab a drink. But yeah, kind of a cool little spot here. Figured that we'd add. And it's also a restaurant, of course, with the kitchen in the background there. So you can just, you know, have get a quick bite to eat or whatever. And there's also a sign back here too. BossPub with a period. You definitely can't forget that period at the end for emphasis. You also have some speakers up here. I actually forgot to mention these. I forgot about them. But you kind of have like some speakers that can play music or whatnot. And you have some cameras watching for rowdy people. And of course, if you get too rowdy, we'll just stick you into the little jail area. And that's not too far away at all. Yeah. Originally, for a little bit, I thought about putting like a little glass floor in here. But it looked a little too tacky. But I believe right here is like a cave underneath here. And it literally looked really cool. But then I'm like, it's a little bit too much, so I just went with a normal floor. But a little fun fact, you're actually right above a random little cave. This is all glassed off here, so you can't easily go into stage 1 there. But now we are in the BossClub official stage 1, whatever you want to call it, area again. And this time we're gonna marvel in its spectacularness. It's definitely very big, and there's definitely a lot going on here, but we got another restroom to check out because I gotta go pee again. And I did that by going to the women's restroom first because, yeah. But they got stalls and whatnot, another sink area, and the men's restroom. Yep, you've guessed it, is the exact same thing, but we got urinals. We have sort of like it's like 2 floors going on, like a floor and a half. I guess you could call it like a mezzanine kind of area. I think that's the official term that they use. But you can go in floor 2, which is kind of cool, and you could go in floor 1, which is probably even cooler with the floor that lights up. It's got all these nice colors. I did not do a copy and paste job when I did this. I had all the concrete laid out, and I just kind of made it look super duper random as possible. So I literally laid out every block one by one, which was kind of annoying. I tried to make extra special sure that I wasn't making, you know, the same color twice. But yeah, it kind of took me a while because this is the one thing I did not use World Edit on at all. And then Sam came in and added the lights in here that light up, and it's just super duper cool. It really makes it really bright and just pops up super duper well. We have a bunch of these speakers here, you know, because we got to blow the ears off of all our guests that come into the Boss Club, because they're paying good money to be here, right? So we got to make sure that we have the sound to kind of justify the price that we charge them to come in here. And yeah, these are like the high quality Klipsch speakers here that I think Sam actually owns. He'll probably tell you a little bit later about them, but yeah, these are his speakers, and we have quite a bit of them. Let's go ahead and go to the backstage area too real quick, because that's where all the cool people like to hang out. And it's a backstage area. It's not like the most exciting thing. It's kind of like the mechanical room, except the mechanical room probably looks a little bit nicer. But you know, it's not really meant for the outdoor people or the people outside in the club itself. You know, they're not going to ever come in here anyway. And there's some lighting controls that I'll have Sam demonstrate for you. And it looks like that's the exact model of the speakers that are out there too. And this just takes you to the other side of the stage there. If we go upstairs, which I will do here. Man, I feel like I'm like running a marathon with how fast I'm walking here. Wish I could do that in real life. Here we are in the second level here, and get a nice cool view of the dance floor right there. So yeah, I kind of got the idea of having 2 floors just to kind of give it some verticality a little bit. I think when I build the separate versions of the Boss Club, it's probably going to be even a little bit higher yet, and I'll probably make a few small changes to it. But I really do like how well and how compact this building still is, or this area still is, and it still looks really nice regardless. I'll go ahead and go on the stage and show you another cool view of it. And look at that Boss Club logo. It's also really well lit here, because again, Minecraft lighting is bizarre and it doesn't like to go down too far. But there we go. There's our logo, Boss Club, all colored to kind of match the floor down there. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and segue this over to Sam here to kind of show you how this floor works and sort of all the other lighting controls that are in here that kind of make this really pop out and make it one of the coolest rooms in the entire tower.
Here we are, guys, once again right where Brandon left off. Look at this dance floor. Now these lights are this actually took a pretty long time for me to do, so let me go ahead and put myself into spectator mode here. If I could type, there we go. Take a look at this. Look at all of these command blocks we've got here. This is a fire alarm. This is irrelevant to the lights, but as you can see, these redstone blocks that are appearing and disappearing here, these are all done one at a time. I entered the coordinates into these command blocks one at a time for these redstone lamps, and it took freaking forever, and then it took even longer for me to figure out how to get it tied in with the main lighting control system. But the end product looks awesome, and the little mechanic room down here actually looks pretty cool too. I don't know, it doesn't look good, but it's really cool to see it and see how everything works. So that's how it works. It's just a bunch of set block commands and redstone repeaters. I'm still not too happy about the server not running properly because these usually flash faster and look cooler, but you can still kind of get the effect. Like, look at that bat. It's kind of flying all wonky. Something's wrong with the server and I need to figure out what it is. Going into the backstage area here, Brandon briefly mentioned a couple of things back here. So we have the lighting controller, which we'll get into in just a second, but I do want to touch on these speakers. So this is the back of what would be the subwoofer. Let me come right back out here and give you a look here. So this is a Klipsch R12SW, and as Brandon mentioned, these are actually speakers that I own. I took pictures of them, photoshopped them out perfectly to fit squares and rectangles like this. So this is the subwoofer that I have in my room, and this is one of the Klipsch R51M bookshelf speakers that I have in here. I straight up just took pictures with my iPhone and photoshopped the crap out of them to fit them into Minecraft, and I think it looks pretty cool. You know, you're obviously not going to be using these speakers in real life at an actual club, but because of Minecraft scaling, they look like, you know, pro audio stacks, kinda. And then on the ceiling, there's none above the stage, of course, but over here, we have some ceiling mount Klipsch THX speakers. If I remember correctly, these cost about $1,500 a piece in real life. I did not take this picture, I just pulled it off of Klipsch's website and stuck it in here, but $1,500 a piece for these ceiling speakers, and we have them all over the club. As Brandon said, people pay good money to be here, so we're going to treat them to some great audio from Klipsch. Anyway, though, moving back to the backstage area, we have the lighting controls. So as you can see, there's 4 switches marked dance floor, speaker lights, dance floor overhead, and stage floor. And then right here we have the controller for the flashing lights in the floor. We can either do steady flashing or off. And here's a little DSN services sign I stuck there just for fun. So we're gonna have Brandon go ahead and turn off the BossClub lights once again. Nice lag spike, but as you can see, all of these lights are now off. There are some lighting glitches, that's just because Minecraft is how it is. So we're gonna come under the stage here, and what's really cool about this is you can actually operate the lights around the dance floor independently from the rest of the lights around BossClub. So let's start with the stage floor. This is one of my favorites right here. As you can see, these lights turn on because this is directly under the stage. So anyway, we're going to come right back out here. Take a look at how this stage is lit up right here. I think that looks awesome, having uplights on the stage floor. And there's Brandon right here for a little bit of a demonstration. Check that out. You can see him perfectly here with these lights. That's pretty cool. So we're going to go ahead and go back under the stage here and play with some of the other controls. So we're going to go ahead and turn on the speaker lights. Those are the lights that are in the floor directly around the speakers. Check that out, guys. I think this is my favorite look for this stage area. Of course, with the unfortunate event of our poor server performance, this usually looks a lot cooler with the lights going faster, but this is what we have to deal with for right now. It still looks pretty cool with the stage ups turned on and the floor lights around the speakers flashing. So yeah, there's that. We're going to go ahead and go back under here and turn on the dance floor lights and the overhead lights. So dance floor overhead and then dance floor. So these 12 redstone lamps right above the dance floor turn on, along with the lights in the dance floor. So that's pretty cool right there. These are independently controllable from the rest of the lights around BossClub. And just for fun, because I know someone's probably going to ask, I'll go ahead and put them on steady, right like that. And we'll head back out and take a look. So this is what it looks like with the dance floor lights just on steady. As you can see, that also changes how the speaker lights act. So yeah, there you go. We're going to have Brandon turn the overhead lights for BossClub back on, so you can watch them come back on with the dance floor area already lit up. And there you go. So that's it, guys. That's how the dance floor lighting works. We are going to be going more in depth in a later video about how the rest of the lighting and other redstone things around the rest of this tower work, but hopefully you got a little preview of what that'll be like with what I did for the club. We're going to go ahead and go back to Brandon and get this video finished up.
So yeah, guys, this is pretty much the stage area. I mean, like Sam showed, there's some stuff there that I actually didn't even realize was a feature on here, and that just blew my mind. This is really a very cool setup, and it's real nice. I'm glad that this actually exists. This is like the heart of the BossClub, and it is awesome and amazing, and I love it. It's just really cool. So now we're going to be showing you the more monotonous, maybe the more boring kind of stuff. Now we're going to kind of show you the back rooms, kind of mech areas that I haven't gone through yet, but they're still very cool. And we'll go ahead and start with the elevator room. I'm only going to go through these things really briefly, because these will be explained in another video that shows all the redstone circuitry and all that sort of jazz. So I'll just kind of show you some of the architecture that's in them, starting with the elevator room that we'll go ahead and start heading toward. This area is sort of like you may have noticed, a very low ceiling for that second floor up there, just 3 blocks wide, but I always thought it looked kind of cool. But here we go is the elevator control room, room B302. So there you go. And I think these turn on the lights. Yeah, there we go. Before the elevators actually worked here, this room was a lot smaller. It wasn't really that tall at all. I want to say just a few blocks wide, just like over there, just 3 blocks maybe. But because of all the extra stuff that's needed to get the elevators to work, Andrew actually made the area much deeper and made a few little changes here. So the architecture here is actually half Andrew's, actually maybe mostly Andrew's, because I don't remember putting this sort of grid ceiling kind of thing here. So this actually looks really cool. But there's a whole bunch of stuff. I'm not going to get too much into detail because that's like a whole video right there. It's super duper awesome. And there's a sort of elevator shaft access that you can get into here and see the elevators and whatnot. And actually, speaking of which, I wonder, I can't do it from in here, but that shaft definitely goes all the way up quite a bit. I think this right here is another little extra back room sort of area. Yeah, nothing overly exciting here. Yeah, just a bunch of random blocks and whatnot. I think it can lead to another floor that goes to the parking garage. Yes, which I think was in one of our first videos. I may have actually mentioned this ladder, I want to say, or maybe I didn't. But it does go all the way down here to the BossClub into a secret sort of area that you would usually get to. But that's pretty much the elevator access zone. I don't know what's in here. Oh, nothing. There's a secret button there. I don't want to press it because I feel like something's going to explode. All right, so I just found out. Apparently that button pretty much kills the elevators, so I'm definitely not going to press that button. I'm going to run away from there, actually, because I don't need that in my life either. Okay, so now we're back into the locker area again that we just saw, and we're gonna go ahead and go to the mech room. Not the elevator mech room, but the mech room. It's a bit of a long walk. Okay, room B301, the mechanical room. Restricted access, the fire alarm control panel is inside. So we're gonna go ahead and kind of sneak right in there. Look at that. So this is kind of more of a big open wide area that has all the controls here. This again is a topic for a whole other video in and of itself. So I'm just going to kind of show you a little bit of what the layout is like and sort of the architecture here. I want to say originally this whole room was just nothing but stone walls, stone floor, stone ceiling, very boring. But I figured to kind of make it look somewhat presentable in a way, but still make it look kind of, it's a mech area. You're usually not going to be in here. Over here we have all the lighting controls here. As I was turning things on and off for Sam for his demonstration here, I was using this thing. This turns off all the lights at BossClub, and that turns it on, and everything else is kind of straightforward here. Lockdown's really cool, but again, another topic for another day. And then right here is the fire alarm panel, which is freaking massive and also really cool. I put a little bit of some decorative-ish, sort of like yellow stripes, you know, kind of to be aware to not block stuff and put random things here, because this is a very important area. You want easy access here. So these little caution stripes here, just for that, so you're aware you're in a sort of secure zone here. Right over here we have the amp rack. So this is where all that music would play from the speakers that you saw overhead. And if you forgot, it's those things right there. This is our amp rack, and as you can tell, there's nothing there, and the main reason is because well, you're probably thinking image on map. That's part of it, but the real reason is that we just really can't find any good pictures of an amp rack at all. Like, they just don't exist. It's just like vending machines. So we have a few areas, I think even on this tower, that have vending machine areas, and we just can't find, there's a surprising lack of images of any like good vending machine picture for some reason. It's like, a ghost on the web. Like, I don't know why that's a problem, but it is. And the same goes for amp racks as well. Just to add, you know, another problem, image on map doesn't work either. So that's just two things not working on our way. But yeah, that's why that's all blank. So again, use your imagination. There's a bunch of, you know, amps racked up in there, which is cool. And then we have like an iPad mini. I think this is Sam's iPad mini here that has some Rick Ross stuff playing in here in the background. I think it was going to be like on an iPhone or something, but again, image on map kind of made that much harder to do. But yeah, so that I believe pretty much concludes this video here. This is BossClub, the coolest part of the entire tower, which is kind of like tucked in the basement, but still very cool. You definitely can't miss it. I had a lot of fun working on this thing, and this whole project, this whole tower has been just absolutely fun to work on. And this club area was really awesome as well, because, you know, you may notice the tower is really varied. You know, you have offices, you have residential areas, and I think that's what made this tower so fun to build, because if you got bored of a certain area, because sometimes it gets really boring working on an office, or really boring working on just like an apartment or a condo or whatever, I could just work on another part of the tower. This just made the tower a whole lot more fun to work on, and I'm really glad that this was included in. And I'm hoping to include it in our next new project, the Boss Mall, which is going to be having one of these kind of as an anchor store, sort of, but it's going to have all the things that I wanted to do with it, but with unlimited space, essentially. We're going to have a taller ceiling, a few other extra things added. I wanted to kind of keep it of a surprise, so I'm not going to pretty much reveal all the cool things we might add into that version. But this will not actually be the last time that you see this sort of architecture and whatnot. Things might be a slight bit different. I tried to make sure that this whole area sort of matches or complements the lobby of this tower, but in the mall that I'm ending up putting this into, it might be a slight bit different as well. So yeah, I get to work on this really awesome project again, which is really cool. And I hope you guys definitely enjoyed this video. I know I've been probably rambling. It's like 2 a.m. here right now, so I do apologize if I seem a little tired and out of focus. It's mostly just because of a sleep thing and also Minecraft not wanting to work, but that's a whole different story. So yeah, I hope you really enjoyed this, guys. Definitely leave a comment, like, and subscribe to DaSamNudge's channel and mine. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it.
There you go, guys. That is going to be it for the BossClub tour on the DaSamNudge tower here on my Minecraft server. I have been wanting to make a video on this place ever since we started building it, and today we finally had the chance to actually do it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Again, I apologize for the awful performance my server was giving us during the recording of this video. I have no idea why, but it didn't really affect it too much. By the next video, it should be resolved. Big shout out to Brandon for, again, building the majority of BossClub and hosting the majority of this video. I'll leave his links in the description as I always do. But anyway, guys, until Friday, that is going to be it. Hope you enjoyed the video.